My name is Amy Burkle. I'm the Vice President of Heritage Community Senior Living, and I've been with the company just about 4 years. Our philosophy is to help folks live better, and that means residents, that means families, that means associates. And living better for you may be different than what it is for me. And so it's taking the time to listen, to assess, and understand why you've chosen to come here and how I can make this situation, make your environment better. Folks that live in our memory support communities are adults. They're adults living with a brain disease. They're trying to live the life that they have the very best that they can. And our job is to provide an environment, a situation, a support structure that can enhance those abilities that are there and to foster growth in those abilities. And so our Portraits program was designed upon philosophies created by an education philosophy, Montessori principles. Montessori principles are used in the mainstream school system. There are Montessori schools, and they're about fostering independence and for children to learn at their level of ability, whatever that may be, at their own pace. While we are not taking Montessori philosophies into our communities to help residents learn new abilities, we're trying to foster and encourage engagement at their level of ability on the things that they're interested in and in areas that they need us to do that for. So each resident that moves into our communities has an individual portrait schedule created for them. And it's based on history from that resident, things that they enjoy doing in their past, things that they enjoy doing today. The families help us come up with that information. And then it's based on observations. What do we see that they need now? What are their abilities now? Maybe they enjoyed gardening in the past, but getting down on their hands and knees and getting down, into the ground and the earth is too difficult now. But how can we adapt that to still meet that interest and need? I have lots of examples of residents that have had success on our Portraits program, but one in particular that sticks into my mind was a gentleman that moved into the Heritage at Legacy. He was a very independent man. He'd been a successful man and was very much struggling with moving into a community where staff was there to do things for him. So using the Portraits philosophy, and they worked with the family to understand what was important to Jim. What were things that he enjoyed doing in his days before moving to our community? So they learned he liked to be in charge of things, he liked to garden, he was an avid reader. So based on those things and where Jim's current ability was today, they adapted it to a library, and they started a library at the community where books were donated, and Jim was part of that process. It wasn't just putting the books in there and telling Jim, here's some books we know you enjoy reading. It was making him a partner of, let's make this a library. How will folks check books in and out? How will we keep that organized? What kinds of books should we have? Jim became the librarian. In fact, we named the library after him. So again, it's enhancing self-value and worth no matter what type of disability or challenge that I'm living with. Arial helps us carry out on that mission of being responsive. Specifically, the Arial emergency call system we use in our communities. It tells us a resident needs us now. It tells us where they are. It sends that message of urgency. We have communication methods then internally to talk to each other for associates to say, I'm gonna go help Mrs. Smith, I see her call lights on, or one staff member can say, I'm helping another resident, can you go and do that? So it helps us carry out the mission of living better. Individuals moved into our communities because they were no longer safe to live at home, alone. We are here for the residents, and Arial is that link between the resident and us as the provider. If we didn't have that, we couldn't carry out that mission. We wouldn't be able to be responsive to their needs.